All right, good evening and welcome to the February 24th, 2026, right on cue, meeting of the Leominster Conservation Commission. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. My name is Jesse Averka. I'm the conservation agent for the city of Leominster. At this time, please silence your devices and allow me to confirm which members are present. Jordan Bashan.
Here.
Rich Gillick.
Here.
Stephanie Quinlan.
Here.
And Nick Venti.
That's right.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I will hand it over to you, Steph.
Okay. Starting the meeting with a call to order and then public comments. If anybody has any questions or comments for something that's not already on the agenda, I just want to give you the opportunity to ask them now. No? Okay, perfect. Moving forward, request for certificates of compliance. Number one, we have 56 Cottage Street, DEP file number 1991185. Somebody here for that, or
Yes,
you know
we
the
do.
scoop, Jesse?
Are you here for, do you want to do that one, Chris?
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
Chris Harris with Hannigan Engineering. So we're looking for a COC for the project at 56 Cottage Street. The commission approved the project way back in 2023. And at this point in time, the construction has been completed. The only area that was actually located within a jurisdictional zone was right along the frontage of the site. You have a 200-foot riverfront area that comes off of, I forget the name, brook right across from Cottage Street. So it just extends off to the periphery. We did a full review. Everything was built to spec. Everything's stabilized at this point in time with all the landscaping put into place as well. So we were just looking for the COC request to close out the project.
Okay. Jesse, have you seen the site?
I've been out there. I mean, like Chris said, it's only, you have maybe 50 feet that's in, the riverfront area.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
there's really nothing else to inspect, so as long as Hannigan is putting their word on everything being built to spec, then, that's enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully there's not a lot of crucial landscaping in that buffer. That'd be a little hard to check right now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the
Um,
snow's taller than my muck boots.
Yeah,
It's tricky out there.
it is deep. Any questions from anyone on the commission?
Do you recall when it was, notice of intent was approved?
November 15, 23.
Oh,
Give me a
let's-
moment.
Definitely not here for that one.
Back at notes, just in case. I'm not looking up in advance.
This is very impressive.
Yeah, what a great resource.
Yeah.
I should have been doing that with mine the whole time.
At least that was when the order was actually issued.
Let me look a little earlier. Cottage. I'm sure there's no problem, but if it's, I can find it in a moment, then I will move on.
What were you, I think I have the old application here.
Probably
What
just,
were
I
you-
would assume looking to see if there
You
were
were
any
just
like
looking for your
discussion
specific
points.
notes? Yeah,
Exactly that.
okay.
Yeah, any
My
discussion
notes.
points if we had
Sure.
any things
Yeah.
that we were hung up on as a
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
drainage is
pretty
pretty
much.
straightforward. It's a giant sand pile, so everything got put right back into the ground. Like Jesse said, there was only like 50 feet of the property, and most of it's paved driveway anyway.
Cool.
So
All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion to grant a certificate of compliance.
Yeah, just a standard certificate of compliance.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I think so.
Yeah, no, you got it.
I'll make the motion to grant a certificate of compliance for the project at 56 Cottage Street, Mass DEP file 1991185.
I will second that. Thank you.
Okay, how do you vote on that? Nick,
Aye.
Jordan,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
and Steph.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. So, well, I'll let you read that one into the record. I'll go over the next one because there's no one here for it.
Okay, moving forward, the second certificate of compliance is being requested for 188 Central Street, DEP file number 199-1212.
Yes. So we are finally here. This is, if you guys remember, which I think we've all been out there, the CVS, and that unfortunate neighbor
Oh.
who had his driveway entirely swept away and his car and all that. So I guess first of all, neighbor's very happy with everything that took place out there. He has a fence that's giving him enough privacy. He's happy with the trees that were planted over there. He has no complaints. And, I mean, I for one think this was a huge success. I think it was a very complicated and difficult project to take on. The only deviation from the initial plan that we approved was in the time that they were, actually working around with equipment in the brook. They called me and Nick went out. I don't know if me and you might have gone out at some point too to speak with them, but initially they were gonna try to scoop out the material that had been brought and deposited onto the bottom of the brook. And they opted not to do that because they felt they didn't need to. And there was already, vegetation growing down there.
Sure.
So at least I remember me and Nick's opinion was if you don't have to, stir up the bottom of the brook, then why would you? And then in order to compensate for that, they put in some additional stone armaments along the embankment here where I'm moving around. Other than that, everything went according to plan and I think it came out very nicely. I don't know if everyone's been by to look at it, but that's my take.
Fabulous. Okay. Any questions or comments from the commission?
It's, in the end, it ended up being more over-engineered and armored than we hoped, or than the plan. But the reality is, it's just,
Hopefully
The
that means they
riparian-
never have to go back out and do it again.
the riparian
Not for
corner
the,
is,
for the very foreseeable future.
Yes.
the problem is when you armor and straighten a channel, it just causes problems downstream. So,
Well, it's still making the turn, right?
Yes.
It's,
Sure.
it
Yeah, so
it
it's
definitely.
still being slowed.
It definitely solves the problem locally, but I think the reality here is that the river is just so, it's overdeveloped. There's,
Yeah.
ideally,
Yes.
there'd be more freedom for the river to make its
To
own course.
fluctuate, yeah.
That
To
culvert
make-
shouldn't
yeah.
have been built
To move sediment as it
100 years ago or whenever it was,
Uh-huh.
Well, and other properties shouldn't have been built so close.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So the
but-
constraint on that river downstream as it exits the culvert really forces the engineer to armor the channel so much.
Yeah.
It's more than the river would like. I'll say that.
I think that's fair.
That is unfortunate.
But that's the
Yeah,
reality we're living in.
unfortunate reality.
It's a,
It's an urban drainage, and
Yeah.
the water has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Simple as that, and I congratulate CVS for
yeah.
getting on this.
After
As
some
they did.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Just thank them for getting it done and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they did, and
They
many
certainly
thanks
will.
to the neighbor for their patience and tolerance through this long process.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
That's
a
now.
fine solution. It's a fine solution.
2.5 years later,
Yeah.
from September of 2023, yeah.
All right,
It's a long time.
great. In that case, I will entertain a motion to grant a certificate of compliance for the property at 188 Central Street, DEP file number 199-1212.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, thank you guys. And on that vote, how do you vote? Jordan?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Steph?
Aye.
And Nick? Aye. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on into continued hearings, we have on one item here, a notice of intent filed by Michael Johnson for the proposed construction of safety improvements and upgrades to existing infrastructure at 163 Pioneer Drive.
Hello.
Hi, please state your name for the record.
Yep, Frank McPartlin with Dillis and Roy here on behalf of the applicant. I believe this is the second time I've been here for this. I don't know if Seth was here for a meeting already or not, but he was on the site walk. That was a couple of weeks ago. Last time we were here, the commission had asked first for a site walk and then for some updated information on the kind of the spill containment plan
Yes.
at the rail yard that was the driving force for this project. Since that time, the site walk has occurred. Since that Jesse was on the site walk along with another member of the
Yeah,
commission.
Rich and Nick.
Rich and Nick,
were
okay,
along
great.
with us.
Yeah, based on what Seth informed me, you guys felt that the wetland line looked fine, and no comments on the delineation of the riverfront area as well. We'd also at that time gotten some updated existing conditions drainage information during the site walk, which was revised on the plan. So there are 3 catch basins that are right next to the existing spill containment area. Jesse was
Would
just
that be,
indicating, right in the middle, nope, go back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, right here.
Right back up, yeah, so those,
Yeah.
so you see kind of 4 dark,
Drain into the wetlands on the
Yeah,
other
so-
side?
Yeah, it's okay.
so those 3 go to the left to the one that's just outside the riparian zone, and then plan north to a manhole, and then did discharge to that upper wetland. And then there is a 4th catch basin there that has an existing pipe that comes down into Easterbrook. And one of the things this work is going to do is prevent the spill from getting into those. So,
Those are all valved now?
those catch basins?
What, the valves going from where the tanks are, from the containment?
The containment is valved. I know the containment will be valved. I'm not sure if the existing is valved at all. I don't. I know that the plan, as it was explained to me, is that there'll be a series, basically the tank car comes in and pumps out the top into vehicle tankers. And there's a series of valves and cutoffs to prevent any kind of spill in that configuration. I'm not sure what's out there in the existing.
What is the purpose of having the 3 catch basins right along the containment area?
Looking at the topography right now, those are existing catch basins. We've got, it looks like a 398 contour going along up to, I'm gonna walk up to the screen now.
Yeah.
We kind of a 398 contour coming along here, coming into the tank farm, 398 coming into it. So anything that's draining this way would come into these catch basins. That's what it looks like that intent is, to catch surface runoff in that area.
Natural or engineered? Catch basins.
The catch basins were installed previously.
Engineered.
Engineered, yes.
Okay. And how is how are the containment upgrades preventing impact of those catch basins in the event of some kind of spill or overflow?
All right, yeah, if we can move to
It just-
the proposed sheet, Jesse?
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some of my other details. So I can speak to them correctly, but they are adding, so they're expanding the containment area.
And this
for where
is subsurface, right?
This is, it's kind of at grade,
That's all, they're above surface tanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yes.
Yeah, like a concrete barrier around the three tanks.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like a
Just like a
tub.
secondary containment
Yes.
under an
Yeah.
ASP.
Correct, yeah. And they're adding in, a truck loading pad here with a trench drain. So in case there's any spill at the truck itself or anything dripping off the truck, it'll be collected, into the trench drain and then pumped into containment. Into a, let's see, it's going into here, into the trench drain, and then there is, and that trench drain will get pumped out on an as-needed basis, I believe, according to the plans we just received from the applicant. So that is a 4-foot diameter, 4-foot deep, concrete sump structure. So they'll be pumping out this area. They're also adding in fiberglass spill pans for under the rail cars, which will drain to a lift station, and that'll be, that's gonna be pumped somewhere else out of the, that will be pumped, that's a 5-foot diameter, 8-foot deep package lift station, which they're pumping that, not on the plans that I have from them, but that would be pumped to an additional containment. They have another temporary tank pad here to expand the tank storage that they have. And that tank pad,
Was that temporary tank pad on here last time? I don't remember
yes,
discussing it.
that was, the only changes to the plans were, I believe the addition of the existing condition, drain pipes. So that,
How tall is the edge around the secondary containment?
the edge around the secondary containment, I've got a, what's that? They've got
Do you have photos?
photos, no, I've got
Of the
a,
facility, Jesse?
I've got a detail that I
Do you
can
have
send
photos
to
of
Jesse.
this?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
It looks like a 6-inch high curb.
And, what's the volume of any one of those tanks, or are they 3,000 gallon tanks?
That 6 inches is a curb in the driveway, that's not the containment curb. It
Okay.
can't be, it's definitely taller than 6
Okay.
inches.
Okay.
4 feet, 6 feet?
Yeah,
something
no,
like
I,
that.
yeah,
Oh, no,
I feel like most of them are
I haven't
20,
been
30
on
inches.
site to see that, so
Okay.
I wanna make sure that it's
Yeah,
more than
current
like 3
ones,
inches.
yeah.
So DEP
Yeah.
has gone through this in terms not just of the wetlands, but in terms of the spill containment system.
I think that's EPA. isn't it?
E-
Is EPA going through it?
EPA has been going through this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We still don't
Letting
have
them do
our-
what they do and focus on
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. yeah.
letting them do it since it's essential to long-term. The question is, do we put any conditions on
Yeah.
allowing that to
But
happen?
we still don't have comments from the state either.
Either, no number yet.
No
Yes.
number, correct.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think it would be unreasonable if a condition, like if those were, 3 inches or 6 inches, to ask that they be taller than that. If these are 1,000
That's not,
gallon
that,
tanks.
no, it's a much taller containment
Okay.
system.
Okay, then, yeah,
So 3
I'm
inches.
looking at another.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it seems like somebody's
Yeah.
making an assumption.
I saw that,
okay.
back me up, you were there.
Yeah.
Okay,
The-
okay.
The tanks are 30,000 gallons, and there's
Yes.
effectively no secondary containment right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, is there nothing there, or are they 3-foot walls around it?
Yes, there's walls around it,
there,
and I didn't calculate the volume in it.
there are big walls around that platform?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, around the holders for what they get pumped into when they run out of
Okay.
Around the
It
hole.
won't
right,
hold all
the
three.
storage, I guess is what I should say. Yeah.
Around the storage tanks, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, around those 3 tanks.
All right, and then you said the trench underneath the delivery vehicle spot, that'll be pumped out as needed?
Yeah, so the plan that I have shows that draining to kind of a sump manhole. I didn't see any indication of that having a force main discharging anywhere, so it's draining to a sump, so.
Right.
Yeah, so you can
So
see
it'll
the
have
walls
to be-
here.
Oh, yeah.
There's walls, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are, stairs up.
Excuse me.
Yes, okay, yes.
Well, I
there
think
are
we were thinking
stairs,
about
that's
just
good.
the
The
cars.
rail car,
The rail
yeah.
cars that show.
The
up,
rail
which do
cars
not
right now have
any-
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
nothing.
no secondary containment around
Yeah.
the rail
No.
cars. There's a low wall around around the platform there. But a 30,000 gallon tank is just huge.
Mhm. That it is. Yeah, I do. I agree with Rich's point as far as I think the EPA is
Yeah.
going to be.
And that's the purpose of this renovation anyway, to conform to
Is-
EPA.
Yeah.
Correct, yes,
Yes.
that's ultimately, that's the goal here, is to vastly improve
Mhm.
spill containment at this site.
And remind us what work's being done in the buffer there?
So work being done in the buffer zone is kind of essentially, all this work is within
A few feet of paving?
jurisdiction, yeah, so there's.
It's not very
Mhm.
much.
Yeah, so there's a few feet of pavement to kind of square off a corner. There is, let's see, it's 850 square feet of pavement expansion area, to which we're proposing 850 feet of restoration of degraded riverfront on the side. There is an extension of the retaining wall just to accommodate that pavement expansion. And then everything else is, loading pads, spill containment pads, the pump station.
Yeah, so where is, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that basically you're taking a little bit here, because you have to pave a little bit more in order to have room for all of the.
Correct, yeah, we're-
Infrastructure that you're describing, and
we're
you
kind
guys are
of-
gonna replicate and improve the
I think
situation
your
up here.
planners, yeah, your planners.
Yeah, so we're kind of taking from down here a little bit,
Yeah.
adjacent to an existing retaining wall.
Mhm.
And then we are improving up here
Yeah.
That's right.
and in a one-to-one.
Okay, can you pull the plane back up, Jesse?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the commission?
While you're up next to the plan, can you remind me again which catch basins drain to where?
Yes, so this catch basin here at the corner drains down into Easter Brook.
Okay.
These three come across to this existing catch basin here, and then it goes up to the drain manhole and discharges up there.
Okay. Will that one that discharges to the south be impacted by expanding the retaining wall at all?
No, I don't believe so. So the retaining wall extension,
But it must be going to an outfall that goes.
yeah, it would be going to an outfall, so it looks like the line work is extending from this side of that catch basin, so or that outfall, we might touch it, but we're not planning on eliminating or changing.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you wanna elaborate a little bit on the replication plan?
Sure.
I thought that was a thoughtful, proposal.
Right, Jesse, if you can flip the sheet C31.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right, so, what we're proposing is, a one-to-one restoration, 850 square feet. The entirety of that area is gonna be seeded with a New England wildflower mix, which we have a spec on the plan sheet for that. And then within that area, we're also planting 5 high-bush blueberries and 5 silky dogwoods. That area will be protected by an erosion control barrier that's being put in for all of the work. And then we have just kind of some of the general restoration planting requirements. Running the planting operations shall be performed during periods when the planting season, weather and soil conditions are suitable. Spring planting season is specified as March 21st to May 30th, and then fall planting is October 1st to December 1st. Entire area is to be seeded in addition to the shrubs. As I said, seeing if we have, then any plants, any plant substitutions would need to be approved, run through the Conservation Commission before anything else is done.
The area as it is presently has some invasives encroaching on it,
Mhm.
some, I think it was Oriental bittersweet and multiflora rose, and I don't know, do you recall anything else? It's not terrible,
yeah,
but
that
it's
would need
it's
to be
a
dealt with.
suitable area to sort
Yeah.
of rehabilitate.
Yeah, that area, invasives would certainly need to be dealt with in that area before we can improve the planting.
Yeah, so I thought it was a thoughtful selection for that reason to
Thank you.
take care of some of that.
All right. Sorry. Any other questions or comments from the commission?
What was your name?
Frank McPark.
Frank, Mick.
If we are not voting on this, do I still move to allow for public
Yeah,
comment?
we can just, we don't need a vote or anything, we can just state that we're moving it to the next hearing.
Right, but do I allow the opportunity for public comment before doing that?
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
if
it's an open
anyone
hearing.
in the audience has any questions or comments for this project? No? Okay.
Good idea.
We've been
Oh.
voting all along for continuances, I thought.
We can, it
Do you have
doesn't,
new info, or?
it's not something that's, you know, like legally required,
Yeah, it's
but
fine by me.
we can.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
It's
All right.
go.
yeah,
In that case, we will be continuing
it'll
this.
be March 10th.
Yeah, this hearing to the March 10th meeting, pending DEP comments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Frank, appreciate your time.
Do you need a vote to close discussion until
You
that
do,
time?
you need to
Yeah,
vote to
okay.
close, and
Close
then you
this-
need to vote to make an actual
Okay.
issuance or determination.
Okay. But we're not,
But we don't want to.
we don't wanna close.
No,
it.
nothing's,
Yeah.
nothing's closed.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Last thing that I want is a commission to close before we have a number.
Yeah, thank you, I
All right,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
understanding.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Frank.
Okay, moving on to new hearings. Item 1 here, request for determination of applicability. Filed Bell Leominster for the proposed hazard tree removal at 139 Grant Street. Is anybody here to speak on that?
This is another one that I can speak on.
Okay.
Ollie wanted to be here, he's a night manager for Amazon, so he was unable to, get off of work to come here. And I think it's fairly simple, but. So he just is looking, so he lives on Lake Samoset, over off of Grant Street. You can kind of see, like the depression here is where the lake begins. And he just wants to remove these 2 pines here, and then this is, looking to the right of where we are over here. Remove these 2 trees as well, because they're holding on to a lot of deadwood, and he feels like he's got some young kids, and he feels like he can't let them go run around in the backyard, for fear of limbs crashing down and landing on them. So yeah, it's those 4 trees. There's still a big forested region that'll remain here, because that's all off of his property.
Mhm.
And he has no desire to cut all that down. But yeah, these 4, just to allow there to be a safer yard, and safer for his home too. These are pretty tall. So if they were to, come down, and they're isolated, so they're a little more susceptible to wind damage and things like that.
Sure.
And he's proposing they're just gonna come in with a crane, cut the stumps, leave the stumps in place. So just a nice, clean, easy removal.
They need a crane for that?
With the location, I think that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Because the house is that close?
Yeah, well, they don't have enough of a landing zone where they're not gonna be putting them down on structures. I mean, I guess you could also climb them and chunk them, but if you have a crane, it's a little bit easier and certainly a lot safer.
How far from the lake will the crane be?
I think so it's gonna be behind the house. So if you could, actually, I can just pull it up and show you. I went out there and met with them. There's no real access down to the water. So the crane would be on the side of the street over here, likely. And then the pines that we're looking at removing are in this area, and then the other 2 are over here. There's no real room or access to get anything down to the water, so it would have to be, you could go over the house and cut them down in pieces, then lay them down in the yard and remove them that way. At that point, it's kind of letting the experts do their thing.
So they're north of the lake, so they don't really provide a lot of shade.
Okay, any questions or concerns from the commission? No, okay.
It's a tough one to question.
Yeah.
If I was
Pretty-
living
pretty
there and I
straightforward.
looked at them, I'd say, I want them out of the way from my view.
Yeah,
But I haven't seen the trees, so I don't want to control somebody cutting a couple trees.
I agree. I agree.
It's just-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there are,
I
like-
think canopy is very important, but, if it's a potential safety concern,
Yeah.
that's
They
more.
say
It's white pines too, which hold on to their deadwood until they do finally actually crack out, so
Yeah,
white pines are a little bit more, I mean, every tree can be dangerous, but white pines particularly, because they hold on to that deadwood. So, yeah.
yes,
It'd be nice to see some sort of
we
replacement
got a bunch of them.
vegetation proposed, but,
yeah. In a perfect world, I would love that.
yeah.
Well, we can get out of their way and roll the determination of applicability.
Yep, all right. In that case,
Is it gonna affect Lake Samoset,
uh,
taking them out?
I don't think removing 4 trees would
No.
personally.
I
no,
would
no,
say
no,
no.
but if everybody wanted to take out every one of their trees, then yes, it would.
Yes.
Death by 1,000
Yeah.
paper cuts.
That's true.
I knew that
That's
line
true.
was coming.
Yeah. All right, I will hear I'll entertain,
Public comments.
oh, okay. So, does anybody from the public have any questions or comments regarding this project? No? All right, in that case, I will entertain a motion to, grant a,
Yeah,
the
so just-
determination of
I can give-
applicability would give them,
Yeah, I can give
Yes.
what my usually with RDAs, I give them my
sure.
recommendation would be. So I recommend issuing a -2, which states that the work described in the request is within an area subject to jurisdiction under the act, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of the notice of intent.
That works.
okay. I will entertain, the -2 determination for the determination of applicability filed, for 139 Grant Street.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you.
All right, thank you. How do you vote on that? Nick,
Aye.
Jordan,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
and Steph.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Moving forward, we have an amendment to an order of conditions filed by Mr. Peter Bavenzi for changes to allow for a walkout basement at Lot 12B, Roche Ave. Hi, please state your name again for the record.
For the record, Chris Anderson, Haying Engineering.
Thank you.
So here before you tonight for an amendment to the order of conditions. This project was recently approved by the commission for the construction of a single-family home. At this time, the applicant is working through the pre-construction phase of everything, getting numbers put together, all that kind of fun stuff. During the process, they're coming into concerns about getting utilities and other stuff inside the building. And based on the existing grading, there's a potential to incorporate a walkout basement into the structure itself. In order to achieve this, effectively the building is going to be raised 3 feet. The footprint, the location of the pavement for the driveway, the building itself remain unchanged completely. It's just we're picking the site up a little bit. The area is close to the bordering land subject to flooding around Pierce Pond, but all the work is being performed outside of that, above it, if you will. The basement floor will be set about 1.3 feet above the floodplain, so it's not impacting that at all. So the only real change is just some minor grading around the backside of the building.
What is the change in grading around the backside specifically?
So right now, the proposed is about 475. Originally, it was, the back of the house sat at around 478. So right at the, would be the walkout door. We're hauling out the 3 feet to bring it closer to existing grade. And then just altering the return to grade slopes around the building to compensate for that.
Is that portion at the rear within the BLS, the bordering land subject to flooding?
No.
Okay.
No, everything's outside the border of the land.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, can you indicate the location of that bordering land subject to flooding? And the compensation storage area proposed for it?
So the compensation storage area is located off-site,
Mm-hmm, yep,
further north. It's part of the overall subdivision plan itself.
yep.
The bordering land sits at around 474, which is this contour right here.
Oh, okay.
So everything is above it, if you
Mhm.
will.
Okay.
So under the original design, the 478 contour wrapped itself around the building and died back in onto this side. So it was
Mhm.
effectively just raising the site by 3 feet in this area. By doing it this way, we do bring in a little bit of extra fill around the garage area and the front of the house. But what it does is it keeps the grade in the back effectively at existing grade. And we're just pulling the grading back into the building in order to provide the required frost protection around the foundation for the garage itself, but allowing the walkout basement to occur over here.
Okay. Feels very minimal to me, change-wise.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was just looking for that clarification, but that makes sense to me.
All right, any other questions, comments, concerns from the commission?
There was some sort of vertical datum discrepancy initially. Has that been clearly resolved in these plans?
So it wasn't a discrepancy. So when the project was originally done,
Between a couple of different parties, not,
Mhm.
on yours it was consistent, but between FEMA, I believe, and the
So it's a,
Something else, there was a,
so it's definitely an anomaly, I will say that.
yeah,
So when the project was originally designed and approved way back in, I wanna say it was like,
2016, I think?
it was before that.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Even before that.
Well before I even started with handing it. This was back before the 2008 crash. Had the subdivision designed, everything was done and permitted. 2008 happened, everything got crushed, so it got put on hold. Fast forward to 2016, I was actually before this commission, or a different iteration, and we re-permitted everything. But at that point in time, everything was still based on the 29 vertical datum, which is what the FEMA panels before the current ones were all based around.
okay, the NGVD
Yep.
29.
Yeah. Then you fast forward to now. FEMA's reissued new plans, but they're all based on the 88 datum.
Very good.
So because, depending on how you look at the birth datum, it does have a shift from the 88 to the 29. To keep everything consistent, we maintained the 83 datum and just adjusted the floodplain to match the old datum. So it's all consistent, and when you look at the actual calculation, the shift in datum equates to the change in the floodplain that you see on FEMA for now.
Okay. You just said the 83 datum, which doesn't make sense.
88
I'm
datum,
sorry,
sorry.
88, okay, thank you.
There's an 83 horizontal one.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you.
So all the floodplain counts that were originally done a few months ago still hold true to this plan.
Wonderful. All right,
Thank you for that clarification.
yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Anybody from the public have any questions or comments on this project? No? Okay. In that case, I will, I keep forgetting the verbiage.
Entertain a
Thank you,
motion
yes.
to
I will-
grant the amendment.
For the order of conditions
order of
at
conditions.
12 D Roche Ave.
Yeah, which actually, I'll just grab the, what number is that one? So 1991216.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, thank you both. And how do you vote on that? Nick?
Aye.
Steph?
Hi.
Rich?
Aye.
And Jordan?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Great,
Thank you,
Thank
Chris.
you. Have a good night. All right, next up, we have a notice of intent filed by Dan Proctor for the construction of a replacement septic system at 147 Johnny Appleseed Lane.
How you doing?
Doing
Hey.
well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Jack Maloney from Dillis and Roy, on behalf of Dan Proctor. So this house was built back in '97. It was the last of quite a few frontage lots. This has the remaining acreage, 10.35 acres. Basically runs along the back of all the frontage lots on Johnny Appleseed. System is in failure. We did an additional test hole last month to just verify it. Back when we originally did the soil testing, I believe Bob Carlson was still in the house, and we wanted to make sure that everything was updated for Rita and the new board members downstairs. So it is all sand. We're basically removing the old system, the old stone pipe system, and putting in the new leach field in its place. As you can see, the bubbled area underneath is the current system location. The tank will remain in place, and the rest of it will be coming out and reinstalling a new system. Down below, you can see the edge of wetlands line. There's a 50-foot buffer, and then the 100-foot buffer runs right through the middle of the system. To the north of that, you also have the White Pond Brook that cuts across Johnny Appleseed Lane. And right through the tank area, you'll see the 200-foot outer riparian zone. And at the top of the plan, there's the, you just catch the edge of the 100-foot inner riparian zone. This is tied into town water. However, you can see down in the lower right, there is a dashed arc. There is a well that's on the abutting lot that we have to maintain a 100-foot offset. I'm not sure if they're tied in or not. However, I believe that one's probably used for irrigation, for gardening and stuff like that. So,
Does it meet Title V requirements all the way?
yes.
And we do have a DEP number came in after the
Okay.
posting of this, that's 1991223. I can pull up their comments if anyone has
I
any.
think I emailed you,
Yes, I spoke with them today, I don't, yeah, and I saw your follow-up, and I think everything is fine on the plan. I think that their comment, like I spoke with Mass DEP today, and I guess their main question was, so the floodplain elevations were basically just like, did you just transpose them from GIS basically?
well, we inserted them graphically based on the firm map, so.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the original plan I submitted, so the plan I emailed you today should have the.
Oh, okay, so
the
there's an
AE.
updated one. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I didn't realize, okay.
It shows the elevated floodplain, and then it shows the zone A, which is a little bit higher.
Oh, it might be in here. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's all that they were looking for, which actually I was learning a fair amount this morning.
So if you look at, right just above the edge of wetlands, you'll see the zone AE, which is an elevated. So what we used was the original datum from the original septic design by Whitman and Bingham. We just tied into one of the old benchmarks to keep the elevations the same from the old plan. But obviously, it's not the same elevation datum that is on the floodplain.
Yes.
So it's like 150-foot difference or whatnot, but,
Yeah, it was up to
so.
290, something. on that.
285, something,
285 to
yeah.
290 to the north. Yeah.
Exactly, so, but the zone AE is right there around the 83 elevation, and then if you go a little bit higher on the 87, it's the area of, it's less than 0.2%. But if the river ever came up that high, I'd be very surprised.
It's also a replacement of an existing septic, so it's a little bit different when it's,
Are you,
Replacing something that's actively failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
To be
I
clear, are
kinda
you
think that's-
proposing changes in grade at the site?
Yes,
With the new septic
you can see,
system? Okay,
to the left of where the dark hatched area is, that dark hatched area is a 5-foot overdig, so
okay,
all around that septic area, we'd be digging down through the old system, pulling all that material out and replacing it with clean Title V sand. And then where you have the 94, 93, 92 down, you have a 15-foot 3-to-1 slope coming down, just,
okay.
it's only gonna be about 2 feet higher than what it is coming down until we catch that slope with the new grading.
Okay, but that's out of the flood zone,
Correct.
so no
Yeah.
changes in compensatory, no compensatory storage
Correct, yeah, we're not
required for-
altering any
Very
of
good.
the flood zones.
Very good. Okay. Looks good.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the commission? No? Questions or comments from the audience on this project? All right. In that case, do you give a
Yeah,
recommendation?
I can give a recommendation. So, I recommend the commission just issue a standard order of conditions. Replace the septic over at 147 Johnny Appleseed Lane.
Makes sense to me. I will entertain a motion to grant a standard order of conditions for septic system replacements at 147 Johnny Appleseed Lane, DEP file number 199-1223.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. That's including the.
Including our sheet, yes.
A page and a half. of
Yes,
conditions. So that's
exactly.
part of
The standard condition.
Yes.
Seconded.
Okay. And how do you vote on that? Nick,
Aye.
Steph,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
and Jordan?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night,
Yeah, you
thank you.
too. All right.
Okay. Moving forward, second call for public comments for things that are not,
So they're here for this informal discussion.
oh, perfect,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That doesn't look that informal.
I guess.
I sort of feel like the girl who didn't get asked to dance at the dance party.
Yeah, right.
All right, and moving on to regular meeting items. The first item we have here is an informal discussion on 100 Commercial Road, parcel 567-12. That is a big binder for an informal discussion.
There's a bigger one, I promise. Jesse has a jump
Yeah.
drive. This is the small
As
one.
far as, you guys have the realm here, but if you want me to, I can call Amy whenever, and I can pull up whatever plans that you sent me that you want me to.
Yeah, we'll get Amy in a minute. We'll sort of go through. Our first for the round, I'm John Mulheron. I'm with Hull Property Group, the only engineer, non-engineer in the room tonight, I think. Everyone else is an engineer. And this is Wayne Grovenstein with Hull Property Group and the mall at Whitney Field. We're here on an informal basis tonight to ask for you to help us facilitate a transformational redevelopment opportunity at the mall. All right? So we bought the mall back before COVID. We withstood COVID. We have stabilized the property. We bought it as a struggling mall property right for redevelopment. That redevelopment opportunity has presented itself.
Excellent.
We have attracted a national wholesale club who is interested in the Leominster market, and specifically at the mall at Whitney Field. I will not say any names, but y'all probably have heard it in the community.
Yeah, I've heard rumors.
Yeah, and so we have that opportunity in front of us. They'll bring 325 jobs, about 200 million a year in annual sales. The ad valorem valuation will go up out at the mall. Right now it's about $12 million. It'll go up about $68 million. And frankly, it's going to sort of save the whole retail area, so solidify that retail area. I know the mayor, he'll probably walk in here in a minute. He's really going to like the idea of
Yeah,
getting
it
ad
should be
valorem,
here soon.
getting ad valorem taxes back up out there where they really need to be. All right, so we need to get them in the boat. We need to get them to sign an agreement. So we need to facilitate an agreement. During their due diligence,
You
they
gotta
was
get who on board?
the National Wholesale Club.
Okay.
During their due diligence, they received some incorrect information. And that information was that they would need compensatory underground water storage to the tune of about $13 to $15 million. And also that they would need a new environmental study, would take maybe 2 to 3 years on the project. That is not the case. After a review of 1,800 pages, including the original leer on the property back in May of 1979, as well as the MEPA statutes, we firmly believe that this qualifies as a replacement project. When the mall was the mall was eventually developed, when it was developed in different stages. In each one of those stages, 7 different occasions to add a new building. They had to come back to the Conservation Commission to ask for modification of the original leer. Now, what the leer did several things. One, is an approved project. 2, it created and certified the levee that is on the North National River. And it certified that the mall itself was not in the floodplain. That levee was built, that dike was built 3 feet above the 100-year flood mark. We all know in September of 2023, we had a 1,000-year flood, and the mall did not flood. It actually worked. It did what it was supposed to do. The MEPA statutes are very clear. If you have a pre-approved project, which we are a pre-approved project based on the 1979 leer, if you have I'll read these. If you have a pre-approved project, it can qualify as a replacement project if the use has not been discontinued for a period of 3 years. There's been continuous use and it's been growing ever since it was first built. No substantial increase in size over 10%. We're actually reducing the size of the project
In the buildings.
and the buildings. And then, and the expansion does not exceed environmental thresholds. There's no expansion, there's actually a reduction. Jess, if you'll pull up the site plans,
Physical
On
copies.
the jump.
and I'm gonna,
That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the
No,
exist.
you're fine. Go
yeah,
down.
That's the existing conditions, and we've got 860.
So before we move away from that, the North Nashua River comes in below, Manusnock Brook comes in above. There is a permitted dike that runs from the bottom right corner along the top of the green at the bottom of the picture. There's a permitted dike that runs along that side of the North Nashua River. Then on the Manusnock Brook, there are compensatory, there's flood areas up there for that, for the brook, that were approved in the Lear in 1979, were built to plans and worked. So, keep going.
So currently you have a mall that's 816,000 square feet. What we propose, and Jesse, if you please go to the second slide there, what we propose is we are going to demolish about 512,000 square feet of mall, about 70% of the mall.
The building's
proper.
in gray.
All the buildings in gray there. We will come back and we will build,
You can go to the next
go to the
drawing.
next, please. That's 275,000 square feet for a net reduction in building size of 236,000 square feet. So again, one of the rules under the replacement project, MEPA Act, is an expansion. We're actually reducing it by 236,000 square feet. We will be reducing the parking field, and we will be reducing the pervious area. So there'll be much more impervious area.
Got it backwards.
Yeah.
Are we reducing the
You know what he means.
impervious-
We'll be reducing the
You wouldn't be
impervious.
saying it that
Yes.
excited if you.
Yeah.
If you knew what he was saying,
So we're reducing the parking field, and we're gonna have more pervious area.
Yeah.
So it is a net
replacing
reduction.
that with what? That is pervious.
We'll have,
The impervious to pervious is, it's not a big reduction. It'll be landscape islands in the parking lot as required through the building plan review. The building size will be reduced without a corresponding build back. So we're tearing down about 500 and something thousand square feet and building back 250,000 square feet, and the number is 75, so the numbers there are on the key.
Are you increasing the number of parking spaces?
They definitely will be.
It's asphalt for asphalt. We're not increasing the size of the parking lot.
No, but just the number of spaces.
Well, you're saying that the building will be less.
Yes, less building, more parking.
Right, so
Yes.
what was where the building is gonna be, building's gonna be gone, what's there, will be there now.
Yes.
parking, there'll be
It
parking,
will be more parking. Okay.
but
Yes.
there'll be,
It's still impervious,
Yes.
other than your islands.
but the requirement,
What's there now is impervious. There'll be a slight reduction of the impervious area. Not significant, but a slight reduction.
Okay.
And that'll come from the installation
Parking. He's gonna speak, he's got it.
of, I'm sorry, Dan Troutman with
Make
Voltage.
sure.
Sorry.
It will come from y'all's codes have changed on redesign for islands and parking and so on. If you go out there now, there's no tree islands, very little. There will be more islands with plantings and stuff in the parking, but there won't be any increase in overall impervious. It will decrease, and we'll have more pervious area on the overall site. The boundary of the site does not grow.
Is the amount of parking that will be established, the amount of parking that would be required for this building, or will we have an abundance of parking?
we barely meet the requirements
Okay.
for this particular use.
Okay. Got it.
This is a regional draw, frankly, and they'll use all that park.
I mean, it would be nice if it was used for something.
So that the tenant we're working with, they came hair and fire saying, oh God, the permitting process is gonna take years, it'll never work. And we went back and we went to EEA and got their file number 1593. It's 1,820 pages long, and we brought it in, bait stamped it, and went through and put together the story of what's happened at this project, at this property since the 60s. When the Gagnes bought it, they were out there mining gravel and loam, and they built the stuff at the north end of the project, and they passed MIPA, and somebody came along and said, what you're doing out there, this next piece, you've got to file a notice of intent, and they did, and they were one of the first LEER, limited environmental impact reviews done, and it's sort of funny. You look through the file. They were not the most,
Pioneers. They were pioneers.
They were
figuring it
pioneers.
out.
They were not the most popular folks with the environmental community.
Sure.
But they did figure it out, and they tried 3 times. They did an initial review, and it was rejected out of hand. That's not it. So they did a second one, and they spent a lot of money. And then it drew some comments, and they did a final review that answered those comments and incorporated the changes. They'd originally planned to dike both the river and the brook and have them come together with gates. They abandoned that and got approval for what they did, what's installed out there. But going through, it's clear that they, like you say, they were building it in stages. They got the initial, okay, this is the overall plan. They built the dike, they built the compensatory storage, and then as tenants and users came along, they designed the next stage, came here, got a order of conditions, went to MIPA, got an approval. There were no additional review requirements, no requirements to go out and do another traffic study or to go out and do a sound study. There were some conditions that were imposed along the way. And what we've done is we've got a digest, a 10-page memo, 15-page memo. It's executive summary, it's 3 pages that tells the story quick and dirty. Then the longer version is footnoted, and there are tabs for every footnote that go back to that EEA file and document where it's not made up. It's came out of that box. And Jesse has on his Google Docs that he shared with you. Do you have that you can pull up?
I have the stuff that you shared
Go-
with me
go ahead.
today.
I was gonna ask him something, while you've got that one up, but you've already moved on, so I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Can you show us who the 200-foot line would be by both waters?
I don't think we have that on here.
You don't have the idea of the scale?
Oh, the river
Yes.
foot
Yeah.
You want to see the river?
Where's our jurisdiction? We don't have jurisdiction over this whole project. We just,
We do this.
just within the 200 feet. So I'd like to see how much of that it is.
And bordering land subject to flooding. If that should appear as well.
We have the site here, 200 feet. I mean, this is very rough, but that's 200 feet over here. I don't think much of the building would be, much of any of the buildings would be in, but
There
in
was-
redoing the parking lot, you're
There
gonna
was
have
a
portions
building
there.
proposed over there, I believe, Jesse, next to
Yeah,
it.
just around the edges.
In that low
realistically.
parking lot?
There is
By Market
in
Basket.
the corner by Market Basket.
That was the 80,000 square foot building.
I mean, I guess
There's
I think
people
the
are
main
flooding.
point would be there's no, within that 200-foot riverfront area, I don't think there's any expansion of pavement, which is why you guys are kind of coming in under, you know, it's a redevelopment project.
Replacement project.
Sure.
You know.
So what we've done is we've met with city solicitor, who's this is her business, and she's reviewed the project. She agrees with us that it is a replacement project, and qualifies to come through you guys and then come through me. But what we are looking for is really just an advocacy piece. Yes, it qualifies as a replacement project. We will give you all the information. Amy's gonna, Amy.
Yeah, do you want me to get Amy?
Yeah,
to dial her in?
First, I do want you to pull up your Google Docs thing.
Yeah, which, are you looking for the executive summary?
I'm looking for what I sent you, what I gave you on the.
Okay, what you gave me earlier today. So that is,
And is this
Oh,
shared,
yes.
is this shared with the commissioners?
this is not on the drive currently, no.
Okay, you can put it on the drive?
Yeah, I can get it on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you go to the bottom,
Yeah.
if you go to the bottom, all right, at the
With
last thing,
footnotes.
MIPA EA file writing, C3 with footnotes,
Mhm.
go back to the Google Drive. That's a detailed analysis of their file, and then each one of the tabs, there's footnote, points to a tab, here it is. He's gonna make this available to you to read through. If you wanna review, if you wanna look at the Lear, it's there. If you wanna look at the prior order of conditions, it's there. And we've got an existing project that's got a complicated history. Not bad history, there's just a lot of it. Well, here it is. And what we're asking for you guys to do is to review it, and we think it's a replacement project that we can tear down buildings, put back buildings, and that doesn't require further study. And we want to move from here to the EA, MIPA, with the same request. We want to understand if before we spend $250,000 doing plans, are they going to say, oh, no, it's a whole new thing. You've got to do a new limited environmental site review, and we'll see you in 3 years.
Will there be any gas station or petroleum sales at this retail establishment?
Yes.
Not within your jurisdiction.
Lucky son of a gun.
Yes.
Yes, because that would make it a different thing to me.
Okay.
It's,
You do it.
more parking is, to me, more of an impact on the river than less parking in bigger building. There's less impact now that the parking lot is mostly empty, but that is very unfortunate, as we all know. But whether it's it's still in the midst of a fairly large urban area. So it doesn't mean I consider that difference to be significant.
Right.
I think to quote from you earlier, right? Measurable but wasn't significant.
There you go, there you go.
And knowing full well, this is just an interim step for us to try to get the fish in the boat, right? To try to get them to sign an agreement, to then do the $250,000 worth of studies and everything, and then have a formal presentation of the project back to this group as well as then to MIPA, as part of their full due diligence. So this is just an interim step, and what Amy has is basically it's a letter of support. If y'all can get comfortable with the idea that this does qualify as a replacement project, which Amy says absolutely, this is a
Who's Amy?
Redevelopment.
a partial replacement project for redevelopment. The pre-existing, already approved development on this site. So we're taking down 512,000 square feet, we're bringing back 275,000 square feet.
Answer your question?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Amy is.
Amy
Amy is the city solicitor, I'm sorry.
is the,
City solicitor,
oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
The city's attorney. is
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get a hold of Amy now?
Yeah, let me
She
just
can go through it?
finish up real quick
Yeah.
and say, so Amy has a letter, a draft of a letter. And if the commission is comfortable after reviewing all the information, you're not gonna take a vote tonight, if you're comfortable with the determination that we have come up with in studying this document, as well as the city attorney has come up with, that this is a replacement project, that we would ask the commission to send us a letter saying such, and also send a letter to MEPA advocating the same, right? And then let MEPA chime in. And if MEPA agrees or disagrees, we know which way we go. If MEPA also agrees, we then can get the fish in the boat and we can start the process. They've put it on pause, and we're sort of fighting other communities, for this particular tenant. So before we ask them to go spend $250,000 on plans, which they're not gonna do, because they're not sure, they're a little bit, not afraid, they got some bad information, we think. We're certainly not gonna spend the $250,000 until we have a clear indication whether we can go forward with it or not. And so that's sort of advocacy, that we're asking from the commission tonight. And then, again, if you're comfortable, and then, forwarding something to me and ask for that, for their, to weigh in on it as well. And if you don't mind calling Amy, and I was gonna ask Amy.
Yeah, I can loop her in and we can get her
The,
spiel.
For what purpose, may I ask?
Well, before you call, let's answer that question.
Yeah, you bring an attorney into our meeting.
No.
With the mayor present.
No. What,
Curious
No,
why.
it's a city, it's our attorney.
Well, I realize.
Yeah.
what it is if, her recommendation is, it is a replacement project. And that's what I would call her and ask her to say.
I
And if-
accepted that when you said.
Okay, then we don't need to call her.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing I'd like
Is she
to
gonna
point
say
out
different?
is the
Yes.
draft of the letter, the important part of the draft of the letter, when you get to see it, I don't know if you plan on handing it out, but the last paragraph clearly says, yes, we're kind of giving you the nod today, not necessarily today, but yes, but no, we're not making a final decision until everything is submitted back,
Till you got plans submitted.
plans submittal drawn out so you can see exactly where the gas station is, all of that. So, I mean, I think it's trying to make sure that the tenant feels it's worth, every site, anytime you, and that's what I do is find sites and do things. So anytime you gotta go get a site, you're gonna spend some money just going to look at it. Then you're gonna spend a little more to do this, and you're gonna spend, well, they're at the stage now that they like the market, they like the location, they like all of that. Now they've gotta decide what's it gonna cost for them to build it. And their first preliminary number, you've heard it was, the one number that they slapped me in the face with was $18 million. Just for, not for building anything, just for dealing with the environmental side of things. And they,
Compensatory storage.
yeah, mainly compensatory storage. And we convinced them that that's not required. I mean, they had read this whole thing wrong. And the project's already been developed. So we got them back nibbling on the bait. And if we can show them something, then they might be inclined to go ahead and put a letter of intent in. And then, when we commit to that, they'll go spend, so that we've got something to bring back to you in fine detail of exactly what they want to build. And you'll probably
True
find
project.
out officially who it is.
And I'll read here.
Do we know why they're under the impression that they're required to have this,
Lazy-
this storage?
There's lazy engineers who want a big fee. And
But
they-
like,
and
what's
they
it,
did-
what's
and they
it, what's
did-
it for? Like,
and they
what's
didn't
the,
really-
what's the
The-
water for?
The FEMA changed the flood maps in 2025. In the Lear, the engineers determined the correct flood elevation for this site. And then they designed the dike 3 feet above that elevation. They determined it based on the historical flood data from 1938, 1944,
Okay, so this is engineering for stormwater management.
This,
Yeah.
this,
That they're
the
considering.
Lear has,
Like, you don't
the
know.
Lear has engineering for stormwater management in it. And FEMA came along and using without levy, they were not involved in the construction and installation of the levee. And as part of their insurance management program, they issued a new set of floodplain maps ignoring the levee, which in 2023, we saw the levee works. And so.
Yeah, I can't think of a better test, honestly, of,
Right.
Well, that's our point.
flood
So
management.
we've got a new flood map that says the whole project is a pond, and we've got reality that says it's not.
That may
They,
be-
go ahead.
That may be true for the North Nashua. There is no levee along the Minusnap Road.
That's correct, but
That-
there is,
yeah.
Compensatory storage.
there's compensatory storage, and it didn't flood over there.
It-
We
it-
had
it
water
did flood
rising
along
in the,
Minusnap.
huh?
There was flooding along the Minusnap Road.
Not in the buildings.
The area where you proposed the 80,000 square foot building was under 2-3 feet of water.
Okay.
Please consider compensatory storage and flooding along
Okay.
Minusnap Road.
Okay.
Which building was that?
Will you pull up
Mark,
the
Mazzarella,
drawing?
by
No, which 80,000 square feet, which
the
one?
the one,
Here's
the
the
one-
proposed building.
it was a proposed building, you know the lower lot by Market Basket? That area received a lot of flooding, yes?
Here.
During so if the existing 75,000 square foot building is Market
Market
Basket,
basket, yeah.
then
The parking lot.
there's a
current parking
sunken
lot, yeah.
parking lot where the proposed 80,000 square foot building fits, and that area was consistent with a large amount of water during the flooding, yes? I mean, you recall.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there,
It
yeah.
was mostly the detention basins
Okay.
that filled, and people didn't know they were there, so they, there was no fence around them, because
Okay,
we've
so
always
there
had
were-
that debate about,
okay.
do we fence them in or
There
don't
were,
we?
okay.
And that's where they kind of drove into them, and, but like Home Depot was built, like
Yeah.
the floodplain in Home Depot is the floor. So
Okay.
they knew when they built it, that if they ever flooded, they just opened the doors and everything on the ground floor would just flood out. They agreed to that. So
Is there?
that never had any problem. The work
Okay.
they did there didn't have a problem.
So there was no flooding in this area, I'm
No.
not correct? Okay, that's.
No,
okay.
it was mostly those detention basins.
Around Home Depot?
Yeah.
On the other side?
Yeah, on that other side,
the
like on the other side of
Cadillac
J.C.
dealership.
Penney.
The
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Cadillac
interrupt you.
No, it's relevant information.
I'm just fascinated
Yeah.
because he took the time to read the whole history behind it, and all I've heard is like folk tales about what happened down there, which some of it is true and some of it isn't, but this lunatic here took the time to sit here and read it all.
We told him that too.
He could write a book.
Yes, sir.
I read the people were on the roof during the storm, the roof of the mall,
No.
on the emergency management map of impacts, that's where I read that. Were you
There's
here?
a lot
No,
of pictures
no.
of it.
We have a mall manager and our
Read it?
security and,
Next time I see that map, I'll look for that.
please. We
Did I
we
read
have
that?
no-
Cadillac
we have no
dealership just
information
north
on
of us.
That
Yeah.
stood in my mind.
Yeah.
Cars floating
What do you
all
mean
over
though?
the place.
Just
That's
standing
right,
on the
The
roof?
other side of on the other side of the dike.
I assumed the mall had flooded, so.
No.
I
Like
really
to the
do.
point where they could swim up to the roof?
No.
That's
No, there was
Find a way up there.
no
We
intrusion.
didn't,
Yeah,
we didn't have any
Get away
water
from
in
the
any
water,
buildings.
climb up
Zero
on top of
intrusion
it.
into the
I
property.
thought I read that.
Yeah.
Maybe my
that-
mistake.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say you didn't read it, but there was no water in any of the mall property buildings, inside the buildings at all.
Good to know, thank you.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, the reason they thought they were, you got a new FEMA map that says all this is a pond,
Sure.
and you've got an engineered plan that says, here's what the flood elevation is for this property after you build this dike. And it worked. I mean, it,
Sure, so around the North Nashua River,
Yeah.
the water was contained, sure.
and so, they were under the impression that they would have to modify, if they modified their elevations, that they would have to then install compensatory storage that would not serve any purpose, but it would cost a lot of money.
And it would be very extensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it'd be an incredible amount required.
the whole lot would be compensatory storage if
Correct.
it's a.
If, the-
yeah,
yeah,
right,
and
right.
so,
Yeah.
it-
It would
the
be
the
prohibitive.
FEMA maps are, they're an insurance product. They're there to delineate what insurance companies, what FEMA will insure, without further question. But they also have a without levy bias. If they weren't involved in the levee installation, or it hasn't been certified to them, they ignore it. And so they did, they showed the property as a pond. We'll go back and seek a letter of map revision, but that's a long process. And we're wanting to move forward with the project based on the engineering, which is, this is not a floodplain. It's outside the floodplain on the opposite side of the functioning, designed, approved, and installed levee. And that was part of the,
Yes, that makes sense.
That's what's got us here.
Mhm.
One thing I think that was interesting is that the Gagneys, after they went to that three-step process where they kept going back, after that, they got very hypersensitive, and they always started going back for everything. You want to talk a little bit about that, what you found in it? Because they get so hypersensitive, because they kind of got in trouble, or, you know.
Yeah.
They started calling for everything, saying, you know.
so their first development was over here in the roads, and they built several 100,000 square feet of stuff before 1972, before the 60s. And then they built Searstown in the late 60s, early 70s. The Searstown part of the project opened, and they were expanding further south. And they were informed, you gotta do a environmental notice and go through this process. And they started they were advised they had to do a limited environmental impact review in 1975, and it was approved in 1979. A 4-year process. At that time, it was a very long process. They said, we're not going to build this all at once. We're going to put in the flood containment, and then as we get a tenant, we're going to build down the way. And so they had a series of modifications where they came to this body, got an order of conditions, and then turned around and went to MIPA and said, here's what we're doing. And they
We're approved every time.
were approved and moved forward with that. Like I say, what we've done is put together short version, a little bit longer version that really goes through. It's a little bit of homework for you guys. I don't know if you're willing to do it, but there's it give you the Google Docs where you can review the writing,
The history.
review the history of it. You got the tabs, yes, sir.
I don't get at all why the history is all that relevant from our perspective, which might be in your benefit.
Because he took the time to read it, he wants to share it with somebody.
Excuse me, please. He did take the effort. We only have jurisdiction within what is basically currently parking area
Okay.
and the road. If we don't look beyond that, beyond our legal jurisdiction, the rest of it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I'm seeing most all that in the outer part is parking lot, right, of our 200 feet. Now, if you try to if they're gonna put a gas station in that 200 feet, then we're gonna talk about it. That's the one warning I would
You
give
see the
you.
yellow up there?
Is that
That's
come
their
on?
idea of where a gas station would go, is right in the middle of the project.
Well, I'm not the
Yes.
best with colors, would you please point to that, Jesse?
Right there,
Right here.
where the arrows.
Zoom in for you.
But also, I think, Rich, bordering land subject to flooding.
That
would
one?
Extend across.
Yes, the
whole-
yellow
This
there.
block right here that won't.
That block
load.
right there, and how close is that? Because it's out, it'll be outdoors, covered, but outdoors.
I'm gonna side with bordering land subject to flooding being
Also,
a
yeah,
relevant part of
also
this
highly
decision.
relevant, yeah. Because what he's saying is
Especially if
that.
the concerns are flooding
Yeah.
related.
Yeah. So that would bring most of this into our jurisdiction.
I'm not afraid of it being in your jurisdiction. It's a replacement project. We've got to.
Yeah, I think, Rich was trying to get you out of our jurisdiction.
I got it. I got it.
He was doing you a favor.
But the way through the process is we deliver a set of plans,
Uh-huh.
and you issue an order of conditions, and that order of conditions goes to MIPA. And before we spend the money on the plans, and bring them here and you issue an order of conditions that maybe that you don't agree that it's a replacement project, or you have some other concerns that we're not thinking of, and we want to send it to MIPA now rather than in 6 months after the project's designed. We want to send the same information to them to review and get their concurrence with our understanding that this is a replacement project. It is not a brand-new go out and.
Yeah, so much of the project hinges on that agreement. And it makes sense to want to get our opinion on that before investing a lot of.
And that precedent has been established because every expansion of this project, even though the first one was done, came to you guys, this body first, and then went to MIPA. So, you know, we feel like that, and I'm the old guy in the room, but that I've always found that when you've got somebody that has regulatory authority over something, that's, if you got them understanding what you're doing up front, and you've got them have a thorough comprehension of what we're doing, then we can take your guidance beforehand or during the design phase to say, let's just deal with that now. Let's get that so that when it comes before, it's just like, yep, that's exactly what we were, I heard that in the meeting on the first, that's exactly what we wanted. I heard that, and it went boom, 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 and it's done. That's where this will end up after these first two phases. One, assuming you all concur and would write a letter similar to what we have drafted, and then assuming MIPA does, then we can get an LOI out of the potential tenant and then spend all this money, because they're gonna spend some money, and we're gonna spend some money too. And we're also gonna start the remapping of the FEMA. We're gonna spend that money because we just think it's the right thing to do, because it affects people other than us too, and get it straightened out. So that's the reason we're sitting here.
Can I,
Yes.
can I ask a question? Can you, so in your argument that this is a replacement redevelopment project,
Yes, sir.
can you briefly summarize your lines of evidence? One was that there's a slight reduction in impervious area.
Yeah, there's a no disuse period that
Yeah,
extended
previously
for
approved project.
years. There's no increase in impervious space over 10%. Those were the ones I got.
So a replacement project is any project to repair, replace, or reconstruct a previously authorized use of or project on a project site that does not increase potential environmental impacts or need additional or changed environmental permits, or result in any substantial 10% or more expansion of the use or project, provided that previous use or project has not been discontinued for more than 3 years, and that the expansion does not meet or exceed.
Not discontinued, right?
Not discontinued, and does not meet or exceed any review thresholds.
I will say, I think Rich had a point with the gas station. I would have to look into it a little bit more to make a statement on whether or not that, like, for me, if that would stick out as something. It does feel like a valid red flag concern.
Okay, so the question is whether or not the introduction of a gas station to an existing project would trigger some.
If that counts as a change
would
of use
change
of
it
the
from
property
a
type.
replacement project to something else.
Yeah.
In order to trigger an additional review.
Fair enough.
cycle.
I'll do the research and get back to you through Jesse. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To me, that would be the only thing I can think of that might have concerned under our realm, given the intended current use is full of cars all over that parking lot, and all the little oil that leaks and all that you get from parking lots. There was a car repair place there, Sears.
There are two of them. There's
Two of them.
a Sears and a Firestone that are.
Oh, and the Firestone too.
And they had
Okay. Kind of that
storage.
within the city.
Yeah.
But no actual gas pumping. So that would be the one environmental
But they both had underground storage tanks, which is,
Yeah,
The
but there's a
problem with
difference
flooding.
between, a 4,000 gallon used oil tank and 3 10,000 gallon gasoline tanks that are getting,
And the question will be, did the original Lear cover, all the stuff that's done to the north, was a gas station as part of that? The original Lear up there, not a part where the Gagneys first developed. I think there's a gas station up there.
okay.
Stephanie, it just,
That was a-
I don't know if this is a formal meeting or an informal kind of thing, but I don't remember it.
Please state your name for the record.
Dean Mazzarella.
Thank you.
But I don't know if you remember when they redeveloped, they tore down some buildings at the mall when they did like Best Buy. They had built Sage Allen. See, you're probably too young for this stuff, but they had built a store called
Definitely,
Sage
yeah.
Allen, and then they did Best Buy. And so they ripped down a lot of things to put back up, similar to this. And the other thing is, if you want to see a store that looks, the newest store that looks a lot like this, without saying the name of the store, if you go to Sharon, Mass, they did a really nice job, a really
Yeah.
nice job.
Yeah, I'll believe it. I mean, if you're looking for a gut check,
Yeah.
I love redevelopment. And I also have heard really wonderful things about this tenant as an employer.
Right.
People have like really high retention rates. People
And
really.
we're not out tearing up a cornfield.
Yes,
Right.
and this
But-
is an existing unused space. Like I said, I love
So,
redevelopment.
I think you
That's
could
the
look
gut
back-
check you want, you know.
I think you can look back at what they did when they were doing all that. And then, remember, the city solicitor works for the city, is to look out for our interests. So you can refer this to the city solicitor and say, hey, I mean, they'll look at it, the firm itself will look at the whole thing and give you their opinion. They represent us. I mean, these are all nice people and everything, but the city solicitor represents.
She's the one.
I don't
They're
take
my
that
team.
personally.
And she's the
yes.
one who suggested we come this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah,
make
I-
a lot of sense to ask her to review it and give you an opinion
Mhm.
of the,
Replacement project.
Yeah, I would love to see this happen. I think the gas station aspect of it is worth following up on. And also, I am personally, curious about the flooding, if there is, any evidence of, human memory is so faulty, right? If there's anything, that can show that there was little to no flooding down here, I think that would be hugely helpful. I mean, if you get the FEMA map edited, then the bordering land subject to flooding, we wouldn't even have,
yeah,
but
that process to get a letter of
Sure.
map revision is a long process.
sure,
We don't
yeah,
wanna
we
wait for
we
that.
don't want to
Is-
wait on that.
Yes, sir.
But isn't evidence that there was, there's statements that there was no flooding in any of these buildings? Isn't that enough, or just the parking lot area?
Well, because now there would be a building where there is currently only parking. And
I
so,
think there's some pictures, and who met with us when we met in your office?
Gonna be less.
Another gentleman that was during the flood. he said
Perhaps
he-
the emergency manager?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that who, okay.
Yes, who-
And
The
they were
emergency manager would have a good
And
record.
they were the ones saying there was absolutely no water come from above, there was a little bit backed up on the backside.
yeah,
the
I
water
would
did come from above,
absolutely
but there was
trust
no
their
incursion.
records.
I'm sorry.
But
Yeah.
the fire chief is the person that was with me. We were down there a number of times during the night. And,
Okay.
we did the whole perimeter. We were shocked. We couldn't believe, I mean, I expected a lot worse. Remember, this is a 1,000-year flood, not a 500 or 100. This is a 500. So we were shocked. We were like, wow, I can't believe it. And, I mean, that's a big storm.
yeah, no,
It's-
huge. Like I said, there's nothing I think that would, reinforce the idea that your storm management is working than by not having flooding during,
And this is the
To
lowest.
have your
That-
thing work in the biggest flood you see.
yeah.
And this is the lowest point in the city. When I think about the treatment plant,
If
the
it would-
wastewater treatment plant.
If you would
this
like
is
to see it,
lower
I can
than
certainly
that.
reach out to.
This is lower than the
Chief
treatment
Simo and
plant.
Art and see if they have.
Yeah,
whatever-
if they're
whatever
gonna be
counts they
looking
have.
for, some kind of letter from us.
Yeah,
I would love that impact and.
I'll reach out to those guys tomorrow and see what they can
What
get
are
for
the
you.
two commissioners?
Well, yeah,
Forever.
well, we're not,
Yeah.
voting on anything
No, there's no
right now.
vote.
They'll have an
None of this
opportunity
is-
to.
Nothing,
look into
nothing
this.
binding is going on. This is just an informal, let them present the project. They can, request what they want.
Get your good
It's a
feedback.
little
And
bit-
again, we'll ask the city attorney, but the commission can ask the city attorney for her opinion and her recommendation. And then, based on your findings of fact, it would be Dan sort of went over the language, be a letter of advocacy, a letter of support. It says, this conditional endorsement is intended solely to facilitate further planning and negotiation. The commission fully understands and affirms that if the project proceeds, formal applications and detailed plans meeting the requirements of a replacement project will be submitted for official and final review and approval by both the Leominster Conservation Commission and the MEPA office in accordance with all applicable statutes and regulations. So again, we're just trying to get the fish in the boat and see
Yeah,
if
see
we
if
can move them
everybody's on the
down the
same
line.
page.
Y'all get another bite out of that.
Don't say fish in the boat, when we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
My comment about the gas station doesn't necessarily impact in terms of the replication concept,
Replacement project.
replacement, yeah.
I think it does.
Well,
I think he's right.
Yeah, they would have to.
because, well,
'cause it could
there's a legal interest, thus where the lawyer would come in and attest to that. Then, as a commissioner, there's my interest in the potential of a gas spill into the water that's nearby.
Yeah.
And so that, if somebody came and just says, hey, would you consider a gas station here? The answer would be, of course we'll consider, we consider every application. And then there may be some conditions with that to ensure that the gasoline, any that's spilled, doesn't end up in the river. That is our job.
Sure.
But I can't imagine anyone would want to oppose the project happening. Of course we want it to
Yeah.
happen.
That's
And you
an
take-
order of conditions, condition.
Yeah, but exactly, it's a condition of the order of conditions, but you're taking what is already built and has been built for years and paved and doing the same thing again.
Well, and as
You
I'm
get it.
sure- I'm sure
Yeah.
y'all know, I got a lot of experience in this area, and the gas stations especially today, there is all kind, different states have different requirements, but there's all kind of spill prevention, plumb down to,
Yes, there are.
Plumb down
Yeah,
the
the
drains around the
USTs
canopies.
these days are.
yeah, and then the overfill protection and the drop buckets. I mean, there is so much that's required federally, and then several states have jumped in, Massachusetts one of them, and has their own, such as the trench drains around the canopies, so
Yeah.
if there's an overfill.
This is
into the-
most of my day job.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so then I'm preaching
But
to
not the
choir.
engineering, just the older ones where
Yeah.
they didn't do that and now they have problems.
Yeah, and that's my whole
Yeah.
point,
You gotta redo
is
those.
the new stuff today has so many restrictions on it that operationally, it would almost take a negligent act or an improperly maintained act to create any risk to the environment. They've made it, I never say idiot-proof, but they've got as close to idiot, but somebody can still screw it up, but
Yeah.
they've taken a lot of the risk out of it.
Yes, I agree with that, but you're asking if anything would be different, that'd be the one thing I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah,
And I think, to his point, we research that and figure out exactly what the statute says to it.
yes, the legal hair splitting, if that isn't an issue for them, it's not gonna be an issue for me.
It's that clause that says does not meet or exceed additional review standards. That's the one.
I'm gonna give that to you, and you keep it. The first few pages is a executive summary, the rest of it goes into great detail, and at the back end, the statutes are quoted there.
Okay. And that document is the exact document that's at that whole list of Google Docs, that was the very last one. That's
Yeah.
the summary page that references all those other tabs that's in that book.
You haven't solved
And this is
this.
the Cliff Notes
To your
version.
request, I think, I personally would like to see arguments that address
All this stuff.
each of the individual points that would be subject to MEPA review. So, one, your reduction in impervious surfaces; two, your argument that says this thing has been in continuous use; three, your redevelopment plan does not meet or exceed any new addition.
Okay.
So if you could present if you could marshal your arguments
Sure.
in
Got it.
lines of evidence to speak to particular aspects and organize it that way.
Yes,
I think
as a follow-up, sure.
perhaps, I think because you presented compelling arguments for a couple of those. Some
Couple
are,
of what?
a couple of
Yes, sir.
those lines of evidence. Some are, we're discussing, we're not clear on others. But
Do you have a,
we might be
is
able
it,
to.
is it clear that the project's been in continuous use for?
Sure, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's,
Y'all are all familiar with it.
that's an
Yeah.
obvious one, right? Like, and the reduction in impervious surfaces.
The drawings here,
Those are compelling arguments, yes.
okay.
I think those would be easy for us to, easy conditions for us to write something in support of.
Yes, sir.
It's the other aspects that,
I think I've done it
so, yeah.
in the longer writing here,
Yeah.
but I'll go back and review it and maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
I guess what I
come at
say,
it in a different way. I understand
what
your
I want to
question.
say is that, like, you know, I'd feel confident saying, you know, signing off on something that said, you know, it meets these requirements,
Yeah.
A, B.
It has to do
I
A,
don't
B,
know,
C, D.
yeah,
It-
right,
This
right.
is how A is done, this is
Got
how
it,
B
right,
is done,
right.
this
Let
is
me
how
say
D is done.
this, I didn't write any of this. It came to me to be the devil's advocate within our company of Wayne's work on this. And I think, me having read that whole big thing he just handed you, and I know you didn't speed read it that quickly, I think if you digest that document, it takes those points one by one, and where it gets that information, it references it in one of these tabs. I actually sat and read that and then looked at every tab to make sure that the tab made sense to the thing. I think that there is a ton of there. Can it be summarized a little more A, B, C, D? Yes. It can be pointed out and not be as comprehensive. That document.
It'll be nice to have both, because then
Yeah,
if we
I
have
agree.
follow-up questions
Yeah.
on, you know, the
Yeah.
bullet version, then
That
it's like,
document is so comprehensive. When he first gave it to me to read, I said, "You lost your." I'm gonna do what? But I've spent a lot of time in it, writing none of it, but saying, hey, even to the point, there's a tab not used, and I said, you need to explain why you didn't use the tab, because you skipped over it by mistake, and you didn't want to go renumber everything. It even says that in there. So,
This is nothing, by the way, in terms of content. This is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we routinely
Oh,
get like
I-
stormwater management plans that.
No, that
50
part's pretty
pages
easy.
long.
But
No,
when
no,
you go making sure he took it right
Sure.
out of there, it gets a little worse.
Sure, no, I don't
And
want to
then
read
that
that.
document, that document came out of a
Yeah.
file box that's this big.
1,800 pages.
Yeah, 1,800 pages. So I can tell you that,
And that was a Freedom of Information Act request from the EEA. They
you've been
filed-
busy,
Huh?
you've been busy.
They filed them their whole thing.
But he knows the whole history of it.
And I was like, the first thing you read is an opinion piece from 1976 about Mr. Gangay, and it's like, dude, piss somebody off. But you,
Not a problem.
as it goes along, they got comfortable with the project and approved the changes as it was developed.
and I think it's important also to note that this was one of the very first projects that was ever subjected to the NEPA review under the current statutes.
Yeah.
And so they were learning also. Some of the documents even say, well, we really don't know what we meant, but this is what we think we meant. I mean, there's a lot of information. And I do think that, to your point, some a little bit more highlighted things or another summary that just says here, and here's where it is easy enough for the guy that has it all in his brain to do, not me.
Stephanie, I'll tell you a quick story. Is we found traces of petroleum down in Nusnak, and we just couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So at the end of the day, and it took years for us to figure it. Again, before your time, there's a gas station where Fidelity Bank is over here on Main Street,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget, it was like Texaco or something. And we finally traced it back. But this is old tanks that were in the ground from, we don't even know, I wasn't born when they put the tanks in, but that's how long it took. We just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Traces of soil and traces, and then finally we figured it out.
That is interesting. In all of my experience, I've never had daylighting at a brook be the source of a down gradient property status and finger pointing at a gas station.
We just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
We went everywhere, on people's property. We
Yeah,
took
they
tests.
must have
We
been
thought it was the
pretty bummed
railroad.
about that.
We thought it was the railroad, and we just kept
Uh-huh.
going and going and going, and we just finally.
That sounds expensive.
And nerve-wracking, because
Yeah.
we knew it was there.
All right, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. Do y'all have any other questions for us?
No, I don't.
You have a copy of a draft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have everything that they've gone over tonight. That'll all be on the Google Drive.
I'm just looking for the letter.
The letter that they want you to sign, that they're looking for your
Yeah.
signature on? Yeah, I have that as well, yeah.
Are you gonna revise it based on what Commissioner
I can,
Prentice has
absolutely.
proposed?
Yes, sir.
So I can wait to read the second one.
You can.
Okay. Keep this.
Or if you wanna read
I'm
the
not gonna
first one and
step into
offer,
that.
it might
No,
be worth
you're-
reading the
you're
first
exactly-
one, if you wanna add something, if you want something else.
Yeah, if it's a letter that you're signing and you have
That's the one I just
specific.
made.
So
Yeah.
take a
Send
What's
me
the one I
both.
just made?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's your signature, you don't want it, so feel free to.
Is Amy okay? You should run it by the city solicitor. either
Yeah,
way.
yeah, of course.
Excuse me.
But yes, sir, I will.
That'll be
I
the
will
last
revise
place that it goes
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Okay.
I'll reach out to Chief Sudlow and Art too, to see if I can get a, document of their, what they saw and what they might have from, 2023 when it did flood over there.
Mhm.
Since they
It'd be
really,
great to know
yeah,
in terms of the flooding aspects.
yeah.
So you don't believe me?
I believe you, but,
Yeah,
I think you
memories
threw you under the
fickle,
bus,
I
Paul.
trust
Yeah, I
the
don't know what
record.
happened. I was there.
I'll take your account too. We'll get all through it.
It's
Oh my
okay.
God, I was so pregnant when that storm was happening. I was at like a how to take care of a baby class, and people kept texting me to ask if I was okay. I was like, "What are you
Don't
talking
worry, your
about?"
partner wasn't paying
And then they're like
attention.
sending me pictures. It's like, "Hon, I think we need to go home." And he's like, "Shh, I'm listening." It's like, but like it might be like really bad.
Locked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was, the only place I could get to for some reason was the back of Wyman's. And I was standing there. It was dark in my glasses and I'm soaked right through by then. All of a sudden someone went by, sold them, and then I heard something like, stop. And I realized it was a dumpster. And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then they had a 40-foot storage container. It must have been renovated in Wyman's. And that started to come. I'm like, I better get out of here. But
Yeah.
a tree held it back. And the thing was like in the river. We found dumpsters, we found pools. It was a 1,000-year storm. I mean, just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully it's the last one.
Hopefully.
We're lucky there wasn't
Yeah.
more damage because water stops for nobody. It just goes.
Yeah. Water's terrifying.
And our dams actually held up. I know we're gonna be doing the one at Barrett. And people thought the dams broke, but there was so much water, that surge, that flash. It just went above and around it. So the dams actually held up. It's just, there's nothing you could do. This amount of water held the water that it's supposed to hold, but it didn't hold the extra stuff that nobody ever anticipated coming down. It's just insane. So,
All right.
that's it.
I'm so glad you guys came in. I think this was a really great way to be introduced to the project.
I do have a different question.
Oh,
So-
sure.
So the dike, when it was designed, the specifications call for no trees on the backside of the back slope of the dike, or the top or the front slope. The front slope and the top don't have any, the back slope does. Is there a requirement to talk to you folks before we have before we have that maintenance done to remove the trees on the back slope, not below the toe, but on the back slope of the dike?
200 feet. Within 200 feet of the water, we have jurisdiction.
It's
You need to
within
come to
200
us.
feet.
Here's the
I've got an approved plan with specifications that call for that to be maintained without trees. That's in place. I've got the permit. Do I need another one?
From this group.
Yeah. What groups did that plan go to?
It's the existing.
Is it just an existing maintenance plan for?
It's the existing order of conditions, the
Okay.
plans, the specifications.
And one step further, every dike that I've ever been affiliated with, and every dam that I've ever been affiliated with, part of the maintenance is you can't let vegetation grow up on this because it
Yeah.
it destroys.
It's probably
the
written into
integrity.
that.
Our predecessors have.
And they
Yeah.
did, and what we're wanting to do is go back and take those off in a non-disturbing manner, maintain it properly, and we're trying to figure out what permit we have to do that.
If any.
If
That's
I
a
would
good
say
question.
send us a copy of the order of conditions.
I'll,
Is it likely-
I'll find the
Yeah.
specification.
It very well may say that that vegetation removal needs to continue like in perpetuity.
I'll find that and
Yeah.
send it to you.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Don't wanna
Start there.
have tree cutter out there and get you folks angry at us.
I get a
for
phone
maintaining
call,
it.
yeah.
No.
But no, it's a good question, thank you.
It might be within our jurisdiction, or it should be within our jurisdiction, but it should be an easy yes. Especially
Yeah.
if you've got, so.
Yeah, if it
don't
isn't
worry
already
about that.
allowed
Yeah.
prior.
It shouldn't be a problem for you, but yes, you should, it's probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just bring it before us, yes.
Thank you all.
We'll keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Thank you
luck.
so
Thank you
much
guys for coming out.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
every
it.
time.
Do y'all need
Appreciate it.
to adjourn?
Oops, have a good
Uh,
We still got
unfortunately,
more.
we're not done
Still
yet.
got more.
Jesse, I'm gonna give you the clips now.
Yes, thank you.
probably
Sorry.
already have them.
I've got them, but I'll take a hard copy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
Yeah. Great, thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Have a great
And I
day.
think we'll come back before June, but I'd much rather agree here in June.
Yeah. I will. I
Us
wonder
Georgia
why.
boys get cold or easy.
Yeah, you picked a heck of a time to visit.
These guys are usually flew
You
up.
picked
Bring
the
in the
time
boss.
to have the meeting.
You bring the boss in.
We didn't pick the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Cheers, thank you, thank you, Jesse.
Yes,
Good
of course.
night.
Anytime.
Hey, that was
Yeah,
fun.
thank you, Wayne.
Most meetings I go to aren't this fun.
Oh, this is the fun group.
Yeah, this is the Cool Kids Club. Tell everyone.
It's fun.
I just hate to talk to people that weren't around for a lot of these projects because you're too young.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to reference other landmarks so people will know. Just sometimes I find things interesting like that petroleum thing. That was just like, we just couldn't we were doing borings in the road, so we just had to start at the river and just start going on properties and test. There's a lot of manufacturing.
That's fun. I would have really liked to be involved
Yeah.
with that.
Because we had to go in and fill the car, I mean, we had to go all the way up, do these borings, drill, then we got the railroad involved, they're like, no, don't you dare touch our property, you can't drill in here.
Of course.
They were like, oh, that's probably where it's coming from, then we went on the perimeter, it wasn't coming from there, we ended up coming in, so.
I appreciate your work with the flood and your leadership.
Yeah, no, they got a little scary, I can't say it wasn't a little scary, but it got scarier after when they said it was a 1,000-year flood. That's when I got scared, it was over, but I appreciate it. See you later.
Thank you. Good night. Alrighty, item number 2, meeting minutes.
Meeting minutes. A little less exciting than that.
Slightly. Oh, actually, I just realized there are a few more items on here. I hate to be the most stereotypical pregnant woman, but I need 3 minutes.
Yeah, go for it. Take your time. I got the video today for the 27th. We're on pause? No, okay. I got the video today for our meeting on the 27th, so I will do that very soon.
Let's see if we
Okay.
can get done in 3 minutes. I have read
We'll
the
see.
January 13th minutes.
We'll see. Yeah,
I looked at
I'm
it
more
too.
worried about ordinance discussion. We're gonna be holding us up a little bit, but, okay, so
I
January 13th.
think you wanted that on there. I don't even, did you have it? I guess we can deal with it.
We're working on the minutes here.
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah. January 13th,
Yeah,
2026.
yeah. So Rich had a revision that I put in.
That was just one duplicated word. It was good.
Yeah.
I'd make
They
a
look
motion-
great to me.
If I may, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 13th, 2026 meeting.
Great, I will entertain that motion.
Okay, any vote on that? Nick,
Aye.
Steph,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
and Jordan.
Aye.
Alright.
All
Yeah, so
right.
I just told Rich, so I didn't have a video of this meeting until today, so I don't have the meeting minutes
Okay.
for any of them. They'll be up very soon, as will tonight's.
Alrighty. Moving forward.
So I put this on here, because if it's alright with you guys, I am running out of space, and I would just like to go paperless and only take electronic applications. Right now, we require 2 hard copies of everything, and
Oh,
I'm of the opinion that the electronic storage is fine, so I just figured, you know, you guys are the
Do
commission.
you really
so
need to ask us about that?
I figured I would. I figured I'd get a vote, because it's like, you get, you know, if you want there to be a hard copy available, and even if that is the case, occasionally I can just print it out, you know,
Uh-huh.
rather than wasting all of this.
Since you can't print the big drawings.
I have a plotter. Yeah. I have a plotter over at DPW. So if we need it,
Yeah,
yeah, if we had to, we could do that.
What are you saying, Jesse? Can you clarify 2 copies of what?
That's what we currently require for any application, is 2 copies of everything
Of the
included
NOI?
in the submittal, yeah.
Of the NOI?
Of the
and
NOI,
any
the plan
supporting
sets,
documents?
any application materials, yeah. That's what we currently require, and I
That's
have
a lot
no
of paper.
use for them, so I would like to just go fully electronic.
That's a lot, that's a lot of paper. What happens to the paper presently?
The paper gets maintained until the point at which we issue a certificate of compliance. At that point, we are no longer required to maintain the records, so they get recycled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been happening under the prior agents? They were
No,
tracking?
they were not doing that at all.
Okay,
I have a,
but you're doing
yes.
it now?
I'm gonna, yes,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, playing a little bit of catch up. As I've
I would
been
like there to be an exception for applicants who are just doing it on a hand paper copy.
Oh yeah,
So you just hand it to you and.
yeah. I'm fine with accept. Let's just maybe a vote to get rid of the requirement, but we still maintain the option.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Sounds good
fine
to
by me.
I love that.
Cool.
You need a vote for that?
I'll make a motion.
Since it is like changing a policy, I'd kind of like a vote. Why not? You know?
All right.
Right now on our application, it literally says like required by the commission,
Sure,
so it makes
sure,
sense.
sure. I will entertain a motion to change the requirement on the application to allow for an electronic submittal option.
Without paper.
Yeah, that's clear.
Without the requisite.
To allow an electronic option or to make it for either?
To
To
get rid of
remove
the
the requirement.
mandated 2 hard copies.
Yeah, to remove the
Yeah.
requirement of.
Yeah, the requirement.
And they
Still-
submit
you still can, but you don't
electronically
have
or a paper copy to you.
Yeah. That's
Not verbal.
fine. Not verbal, no. All right, I'm getting it down. All right, it's 35,000 square feet.
The longest voicemail you've ever received.
Oh my god. Awful. All right, who's making the motion?
What do we got for language?
Just
Just
No, we did
All right,
not
no, I'm
actually-
entertaining
Not
a
clearly, yeah.
motion to remove the requirement for 2 hard paper copies being included with submittals.
Very good. I'll make that motion. For,
Seconded.
for notices of intent specifically,
For everything.
And-
It's,
RDAs,
yeah,
request for intent.
COCs,
Okay.
everything.
COCs, okay, great.
All filings.
Okay, all filings, very good, very good.
And how do you vote on that? Nick,
Aye,
Steph,
Aye.
Jordan,
Aye.
and Rich.
Aye.
All right, perfect.
just wanted to clear motion.
Yeah, no, you're smart for that. You're smart.
You'll thank it when you're doing the notes.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ordinance discussion?
Sure, are you good?
Yep.
Okay. So Jesse, if you go into the drive,
Yeah.
there's the doc in the ordinance files. I've been working in there this week. I've finally gotten to a point in the semester where I have like a little bit of time in my schedule to do some work. So I've been cleaning that up a little bit. I also went back and revised my methodology to like compare municipalities in Massachusetts. Don't know if any of you are interested in the methodology, if it matters very much. But the last time I just took like the top 10 most similar municipalities to Leominster by each parameter I was looking at, and then looked for any that were frequent among those data sets. This time I compared, like I ranked the similarity between all municipalities to Leominster with Leominster at a 0 value, and then summed all those values. So there was some overlap between those 2 different methods, but there is a slightly different list of municipalities that are similar. I wasn't
I'm guessing that we're all okay with your methodology.
Okay.
Whatever
Mhm.
method you use, you came up with a list of 19 to look
Yeah.
at.
Yep.
Everybody was good with that.
You
If
seem
you
very on
revised
top of
it,
things.
we're still
Yeah.
good.
Okay, awesome.
The main question would be, what are you gonna suggest we try to implement?
So I've been copying down into one large Word document, the ordinance or bylaw language specifically for those municipalities. A lot of cases, I don't know if it's city-specific or if towns do this too. There will be an ordinance and a document that has rules and regulations. So I don't know what the difference between those is, but I know that in the ordinance, there is typically a section that says the commission retains the authority to make their own regulations in order to enforce their home rule version of
The law versus the regulations.
right. So, one thing I'm not sure about, and I don't know if it would be worth me trying to meet up with the city solicitor to learn more about how
Yep.
this works. Would it be worth our time to try to get as much into an ordinance in the city ordinances at first, or kind of do like a bare bones basic ordinance and then add our own regulations later? And either can be amended. I don't know if there's really a procedural difference in how it's handled, if they both have to go to city council.
Mhm. I can try to find out some info on that for you.
Okay.
If you can, just shoot me an email with, you know, like exactly what, like a breakdown of that, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking a one-step thing here.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking we were gonna have 2 steps of regulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like gut wise, that does sound easier, but I don't know the stuff, I haven't done this before, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but for this phase, I'm not sure it matters.
Okay.
And it's really, you know, what 5 or 10 things are we going to work on? And I wouldn't try to get all the wording down exactly either.
Right.
Just bullet items, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
For us
Good.
to-
I think it might be out of our hands.
Okay.
I mean, we can make recommendations as to what we'd like to see, but as to what in fact gets, I mean, it's the city council that needs
Yeah, that they'd be the ones to approve it.
to approve and codify in the, as an ordinance and with the rules or whatnot, you know, like, it'd be their purview, I guess. I think it's to the details of how it appears in the rules versus an ordinance or.
Right,
you know.
yeah. And I wonder to what extent to, like, what we recommend to them in our language, just goes through versus how much back and forth there's gonna be between city council and us.
I would
To make
think it
any
would go
improvements.
through the solicitor, through the
Solicitor.
city's attorney, before we get to city council.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jesse, if you'd like to open up wetland rules review, just so we can take a look at that together real quick. So these are some notes from the last time we discussed the ordinance in our meeting.
This reads like a stand-up joke.
What's the deal with chicken coops? That was something mentioned. I don't know the commission's history with chicken coops, but these were just some interests that we discussed,
Mhm.
including in the wetland ordinance. And then a couple questions about the process, which I'll follow up with you with an email.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Methodology, you can scroll right on through this part
Yeah.
here. And then I'm starting to go through contents of other ordinances and bylaws, trying to group together other interests they identify. If at some point, once I'm a little further along with this, or if we just want to kind of scratch what other places do and just add a list, like what do you care about, what do you want to see?
Well, you're giving us a list to pick from. and
To pick from?
That
Okay.
helps.
Yeah.
You're trying to give us the ideas from the municipalities that you are surveying.
Yeah, okay, so I can develop that further. The buffer zones need a little revision, some of these need some revision. But I've now gathered all of this language, so it's just gonna be taking some time to go through it and fill up this document a little bit more so that you'll have like a menu of options.
Love it.
So it's slow progress, but I have
Progress,
spring break
progress.
next week, so I'll have some more time to.
I think you've already done a lot. This is a big undertaking, so.
Yeah. And as I, did you get that email I sent to you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote you an email and I read your literature review and I found that you made a compelling argument for Leominster to enact some sort of stormwater ordinance or conservation ordinance or wetlands ordinance. And did we discuss that last time? You found, did we discuss the contents of that literature review or did you share that?
It's in the drive.
I know, but do we discuss it during the
I
meeting?
don't think we discussed it.
Did you guys read it?
I've
Not
looked
yet.
through it,
So, you found that 19 of the, or 18 of the 19 peer communities effectively did have wetlands laws. So it's, and that, you found other evidence, I don't know, maybe you can just say that, can you summarize your literature review
Yeah,
for the,
sure.
for the group? And, because I think you did make a compelling and relevant argument here.
Thank you. Yeah, so I did find under that methodology in the fall that I think it was 19 of the 20 communities I looked at did already have some sort of ordinance or bylaw on their books. And then under the revised methodology, there were 3 of the 20 that did not currently have a law on the book, but one is currently pending. I think that's Westfield is working on theirs right now. So a majority of comparable municipalities have something like this on the book. It's defensible that we would want to do the same. I looked into some like other papers that tend to be cited by opponents of wetlands
Yeah.
bylaws that say, it's going to hinder development and stuff like that, and found that that hindrance to development tends to be overstated when you actually go and do like the zoning analysis. So I think with those things in consideration, Leominster's got a good case to have something like this on the books, especially so that we can provide some extra protections to the resource areas that we care about. But if you want any more details on that, you can read the literature review. All of this is continuously being worked on and improved a little bit as I continue going on that capstone project. But yeah, I'll keep chipping away at this like regulatory review.
Excellent. Yeah, you've been making great progress.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's super well organized.
Yeah.
Your literature review suggested that the wetlands ordinances were in fact effective against protecting they were effective in meeting the interests of the Wetlands Protection Act, but did not effectively limit development overall. So it's like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and without having a substantial impact on the economy. So it's
Sounds like it's gonna be hard to argue with.
I think she makes a compelling argument that this meets our interests both in terms of protecting water and the community and allowing for financial considerations. In fact, it would augment that because it would serve both better, serve both of those interests better.
All right,
Because you're not building recklessly.
right.
Thank you.
Let us know, if you, at any point, if you need more feedback from us, but
Okay.
great progress, so excited.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep checking in. Jesse, I'll send you some emails for questions about process.
Yeah.
Okay, moving
Very
forward,
fast.
our next meeting is scheduled for March 10th, 2026. Filing deadline was
If any, I mean, can we just say, like, if anyone needs the filing deadlines,
Yeah, if
they're
anyone
on,
needs
they're
the
on the
filing
website.
deadline.
There's a very nice PDF that I made with.
I'm not sure they need to be on the agenda.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
kind of why, okay.
All right,
Well,
so
yeah,
next
here's-
meeting.
Here's everything for the next year, and it's
Yes.
right on our webpage, very
Yeah,
easy and
that's where it is.
accessible.
Perfect, very accessible, I love
Thanks,
that.
Jesse.
You're welcome.
Listening to meetings is good though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think the meetings is good, yeah.
Next meeting will be March 10th, 2026. The following meeting will be March 24th, 2026. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
And how do you vote on that, Jordan?
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
Steph,
Aye.
and Nick.
Oh, I'm having fun.
Perfect. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.